Babies are the most precious gift that God has given us. They are a reminder of the pure innocence that humanity once held. The first time you ever hold a baby in your arms is such a powerful moment. Though it has never crossed my mind what it would be like to know that the child in your arms might struggle to survive or even face the possibility of death. Yet, there are 21,000 infant deaths each year in the U.S. And according to the CDC, the top two deaths were low birth weight and birth defects. However, the organization called Newborns in Need hopes to lower these numbers. Today, I'm going to tell you about why you should support Newborns in Need. First, I will discuss how the organization began. Second, what they do, before finally discussing how you can get involved. Newborns in Need first began in July of 1992. It was started by a Missouri woman named Carol Green. To paraphrase the information given by newbornsinneed.com, Green found out that hospitals were merely disposing of deceased infants due to a lack of burial cloths and funding. Upon her discovery, Green called together her quilting circle to provide burial clothes. The circle grew and began to provide supplies and clothes for babies who are alive but struggle financially. The organization created another chapter in North Carolina, and it has grown substantially since then. Which brings me to my second point. What does Newborns in Need do? According to the organization's website, 1 in 7 children are born into poverty, which means that many parents cannot afford to provide the basic necessities for their newborn. Spectrum One local news reveals that Winston-Salem, North Carolina is ranked 20th in the state for child poverty, and the state has one of the highest rates of child poverty in the U.S. This is where Newborns in Need steps in. The organization provides food, clothes, bottles, diapers, and other necessities. They also provide funding and support for NICU babies and preemies. With all the wonderful things that Newborns in Need provides for the community, it is important that those who are able to volunteer do so. Now that we have talked about how Newborns in Need began and what the organization provides, we will finally discuss how to get involved. There are many ways in which you can support this organization. Firstly, you can make a simple donation, whether it be supplies or money. Every little bit helps. For those who seek a more hands-on involvement, there are craftier opportunities. You might choose from one of the various projects, the sewing, crocheting, or knitting patterns on their website, or you might choose to organize or distribute the supplies to the community. Personally, my favorite way to get involved is making hats. Back in 2018, I first learned how to loom knit hats, and I could make any hat of any size that I wanted, and I found it more fun to make infant hats. So I first began making these little hats, and I didn't really know what to do with them, and I ended up with like over 100 of them before I learned about Newborns in Need, and that's when I began like donating to them. I would get 40, 50 depending on how busy I was, and I would donate them. And they're really cute, they're really simple and easy to make. So this is just one of them. It's really little and it's white. I chose white for this project. Really you can use all different colors, and it's just so little and so precious that seriously, whenever I first seen it, I was like, this is adorable, I have to keep doing it. And honestly, it is one of the easiest projects to do while you're sitting in bed or watching TV or even listening to lectures in class, because having something to do with my hands helps my brain focus. So it worked out really well because I could do it whenever and wherever, and it was for a worthy cause. In the end, the need to provide for these sweet little miracles when caregivers are struggling to is a great way to unite the community and fulfill a need for someone else. The most important part of Newborns in Need is not the supplies or the volunteers, but rather the lives that are touched by those very things.